The Closer by Dave Chappelle on the news, man. It's very controversial. It talks about, minorities, hate groups, or whatever. What do you think? What do you think about it?
It was great. I'm gonna say this, okay? So I think before you critique something, you should watch it.
Mm.
So I think this is something that has been happening with a lot of news. I don't want to say any names. Fox.
Fox and Fox News too.
Yeah, like Fox Media and all this stuff. I think they are the only ones I read an article about before, but they basically made an article about how he's transphobic and how Dave Chappelle is basically hateful for the LGBTQ plus community. And I think you should, before critiquing somebody's work, you should at least watch it, right?
Yes.
So I think they should have probably paid for the Netflix account. I think Box Media they
could afford it, maybe.
Yeah,
Only like
afford it,
10 bucks or something. They're what? How many followers they got on YouTube? A few million? Something like.
Yeah. They could probably stop eating a little bit of cereal this month.
Yeah, that soy milk is getting to them. Yeah. Fox and Try Guys.
I say like how he approached the topic.
Mm-hmm.
I say it was great, right?
Okay.
So he didn't actually bury himself. Like they tried to cancel him, and I say like Dave Chappelle right now is the anti-cancel.
He can't be canceled. Like in the beginning of the show. Okay, spoiler alert, but motherfucker, you should pause this and watch it before you watch this. He said he walked away from $50 million when he was younger. And I remember that was during the Chappelle Show season 2 or 3. No, I think season 3. They wanted to mess too much with the show. And Dave Chappelle, the motherfucker, walked away and went to Africa. Like, nobody is doing this. If you really are afraid of cancellation, you wouldn't have done what that man did. $50 million is a lot of fucking money. And he was able to walk away from it. Hence, he's just not scared. He's not scared of you and your fucking tweets, alright? Get it together.
I'm guessing it's mostly like he's trying to create. He has his own brand, right? So he has his own thing going on. He has his own style of comedy, right? So it's mostly not like punchline after punchline after punchline. I think he's mostly going for telling a story, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's a good storyteller. He always like adds funny spin to it. But I think the topics he was talking about, they're actually really on point. The way of, if you want to be inclusive, I think that you were telling me this before, like if you want to be included into the community, and if you want, like, and when I say communities, not just like the LGBTQ community, I'm talking about
the world, everybody.
Yeah, like
the brotherhood of life.
Yeah, like the whole community. Like everybody should be equal. If you think everybody should be equal, then you shouldn't be making classes, right?
Yeah.
What he's saying is something that is right. Like, yes, trans people, they're going through something that is true. Like what they're going through, I believe that they believe what they're going through is a true thing, right?
Yeah. It's a valid thing, People do feel like this. It's a normal thing that it happens to certain group of people on Earth. Not everybody is the same. So you gotta, you can't make laws or be mean to them either. But because it's comedy, it's not that it's really mean. It's just telling it a different angle. Because, it's a funny thing to go through.
Yeah. There's also, I guess, like, they could make the argument, like, comedy doesn't have to be offensive. You don't need to be offending everybody with comedy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of people like challenge, right?
Yeah.
So if you are challenging something that is not supposed to be challenged, right? Then that could probably make a funny angle out of it, right?
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be afraid of criticizing people, right? It's like there are some people who think that, like this guy is blind. Like blind people, they cannot be bad people.
Yeah.
Yes, they're cool. They are fucking human beings.
Like, I don't see you, but I see enough to know that you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You can make jokes about it. It's okay. I mean, I don't know. I see where like the trans community is coming from, as in like, yeah, don't make cheap jokes. That's like if you're gonna make a Jewish joke and the first thing you think about is a nose. No, rather go a little bit deeper, go into Jewish culture, and then take out of that stuff and be funny about it. Like for example, you know how people like saying, "Oh, now I identify like a lion, an alligator." That would be the easy, cheap way of making a joke, and I would understand the trans community for being offensive because it reduces their existence to like a quick little big brain, edgy atheist type joke rather than what Dave Chappelle did. Like one of the first jokes he talks about, he goes ahead and after a guy tells him, "Oh, Dave, they're coming after you," Dave Chappelle goes and says, "Oh, how many theys? One they or theys?" Like this is something that you have to read into pronouns and understand pronouns to then know that that's a fucking funny joke. Like one person identifying as a they all the time is a funny thing. I don't care who you are. You got to be able to accept it and laugh about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
There's also the consensus that I want to say that because I want to say like they're not normal, right? But it's not the majority, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that gay people, trans people, and other members of the LGBTQ plus community, I would say they're probably like up to 5% of the whole world population. Okay, so they are not like the majority of people, and I know like they are excluded and all stuff. But I say like something that Dave Chappelle actually said on his special was something that is genius. That I don't remember that one. But it was
My
basically-
people? Is that what you're getting at?
No. Something around the lines of like they will cancel if they cancel me, a black person, for making jokes about trans people. Then they're proving my point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like he's basically saying like you are telling me that a white trans person is more important than a black person who has been way more oppressed and
Okay, this is gonna sound controversial, very, and it's probably whoever listens to this is gonna call me an ignorant asshole. But yo, what Dave Chappelle said was funny. Just when he thought he had white people on the ropes, white people and then changed the game up and said, "Hey, N-word, you must call me a girl now," and now they earned their own oppression points in a way. But I think that historical oppression also very much counts because, like, as Latinos, like, come on, the fucking Spaniards took a shit on our islands and killed every fucking indigenous person out here. You know, also slavery was an actual thing. And yes, gay people and trans people might not be accepted, but to the extent of if you really want to go there and go oppression Olympics, who's gotten more fucked up historically, I think a good case could be made by like descendants of Native Americans and black people. You know, it's not like being told, "Hey, just don't kiss a man in front of me." It is at least kissing a guy is something that you could hide. A skin color or being black or being Latino and economic oppression that's been around for years, that's not something you can really hide. That's something you wear for like generations. So it is true. I do find that like it's usually the suburb white people that do complain the most about oppression and don't know how to take jokes, unlike minorities. Because I guess they're so into their own Twitter fantasy, it's fantasy land that they don't understand. You know, it's
yeah.
You get where I'm coming from.
I think I think you have a good point there. I think like a main reason why everything is like that now is everybody wants to be special now, and then in this world of globalization, like now we know about the lives of individuals all the whole time because they are posting frequently on Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff. So we're just trying to compete to see who's the most who the most special person is, right? And I'm not saying like some people are probably making it up and they say, "Oh, like I have 50 different genders, right? And depending on the time of the day, this is my gender." They probably believe that. I would like to believe that they believe that, but at the same time, it's mostly like, "But fuck it, I don't care."
Yeah, and you know one thing that why I used to be a right winger was because I was seeing all these radical left leaning people. And then you got to understand that if you're a left leaning person and you try to make policy stuff happen, most people are going to tell you, hey, we don't care about you, you dumb blue haired feminist. And it's like, bro, just because I lean left doesn't mean that I'm like this crazy radical. And that's what I think some of these Twitter movements go ahead and paint the left as, rather than a bunch of people who just want more affordable college, affordable healthcare and housing. Now you're painted as an extra thing, and now people are way quicker to discredit the rest of your movement. Like, you get what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's what I generally thought left wingers were. I didn't know that left wingers actually had a fucking brain and could argue and made good arguments up until I met you, bro. Then I was like, oh, wow, okay, people actually think different. It's not just Republicans that have logic and all that. Because left leaning people do. But when you have these fucking rabid crazies who make a big deal out of everything, you're gonna turn off a lot of people. Like, change is in moderation. Change doesn't happen by fucking wanting to convert people immediately to what you think. It's gradual, you know?
Yeah, and then you need to also think about the fact that usually those leftist radicals and usually those leftist conservatives, they are not even like a big percentage of the population. Because if you say, oh, every single person that voted for Donald Trump is a radical and a Nazi, that's not true. Because I will say that all of the radicals probably went to the January 6th situation.
Them Q
and-
bros.
Yeah, the Proud Boys, right?
Yeah.
So, most people are, I would say, centrist, not even left or right. That's what I would say. Like, most people.
Yeah.
Because this is like the biggest election we've had. Like, we have a population of 350 million people in the United States, and I would say like 30% of that population would be under 18, so they kind of vote.
Yeah.
Right? And still like 150 people are the ones who voted for either Biden or Trump. And this is the point of where we are right now. Like,
yeah, like,
it's either or. We have basically like we basically have like like two different. We can only choose two evils, right? We need to choose between the lesser of two evils. It's either the creepy old Biden or bad shake crazy Trump.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
It's the same. I think it was the same thing that happened in, like, when Hillary Clinton, like, 2016 election, right? She's not.
It's cold. Yeah. Okay.
Out of all the people that the Democratic Party could have chosen, I don't think Hillary was the best one, right?
Not at all.
She was. She was doing all the right things supposedly, right? She was like dabbing on Ellen Show and all of that.
Catering to everybody.
And she still does, right?
Yeah,
and you could say, oh, like, she won the popular vote, but at the same time, the United States is not comprised like that. It's the
electoral college
right? What matters.
Yeah.
You could say, oh, maybe we should change that, but at the same time, it's more complicated than that.
Yeah, and I think that's a very radical way of doing it. And I don't know. I also feel like part of me, I've been getting into this frame of thought that, like, people want to see a big change happen with everything, but they don't want to see change on a local level. Like, with the elections that we were just looking at, the ones from New Jersey, most people aren't going to vote. Like, I doubt as many people vote in these type of the 2-year elections as opposed to a presidential one. But it's not like the president's a dictator. It's not like the president's going to change the status quo completely of the United States. You got to vote at home first, and then little by little you go. And, like, these radical fucking people online, that's what I feel like they don't understand. And when I say radical, I mean both left and right, because you're both equally stupid. I gotta say it, bro, because if not, you become a complete fucking communist tanky, or you become like a goddamn fascist. And all of these things require revolution, but revolutions aren't really they're not stable. Like, what if a revolution happens and then, okay, what are you gonna do after you take power? It's not shit that's thought out. And the stuff that is thought out, in my opinion, is voting in the little elections and then little by little going up, and you know, being realistic, like talking to the population that's normal. And I feel like with people, at least with the Dave Chappelle stuff, he's addressing the people that don't understand that, you know, the majority of people are not that progressive. So if you want to really try to get your ideas out there, try to be a little kinder. Don't just fucking cancel somebody immediately because they disagree with you. That's not how you get them on your side. And that's how I was turned off from left-leaning politics for a while, up until I started unraveling myself. So yeah, cause now fucking right-wingers are trying to back up Dave Chappelle. Like, I'd be seeing Ben Shapiro and fucking Steven Crowder. And like, bro, Dave Chappelle doesn't give a fuck about you, dog. Because I know that conservatives, they love bitching about cancel culture until you talk about God, bro. You talk about God or you kneel for the fucking flag. And now immediately it's, oh, that free speech is out the window, brother. You gotta respect the flag.
Like, you could also make the argument that not left-wingers are the only ones that cancel people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Conservatives, they also cancel.
Dude, rock music and like TV show cursing.
They also the fucking Republicans, they cancel the Dixie Chicks, bro.
Oh,
because they went to probably Scotland or Ireland, something like that. I don't know where they went. They were somewhere in the UK area, right? And then they were basically like, oh yeah, we don't support George Bush.
Yeah.
What happened? Bitch just got cancelled, bro.
Yeah, but I don't know. People, like, they have really short memories when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah, and then you have George Bush, which is probably one of the worst presidents of all time.
Yo, look at the camera and say that. What George Bush don't care about black people.
And he basically sent hundreds of thousands of Americans in a fucking war that lasted for 20 years, and up to like, I don't know, like a few months, like a month ago,
a few months ago, yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about like, oh, Biden, he made such a terrible mistake, bruh. Like, he got the balls to win the fucking war you started. Like, I'm fucking tired of you.
Exactly,
like,
bro. I see a lot of hate towards Biden on that. Which
let me tell you something. I see like the problem is like everybody is like, oh, we got out of Afghanistan, but we got it on the wrong way. There was no right way of getting out of Afghanistan, my guy.
You asked these motherfuckers that question, and they weren't gonna answer. They would probably say, "Oh no, we have to send a few more missiles and bomb them again."
The Taliban was gonna take over eventually.
Yeah,
if it wasn't when they took over, they would have taken over like a month after that, because the government we set up in Afghanistan was a corrupt government.
Mm-hmm.
And also, they didn't give a fuck about their own country, bro.
Yeah.
Right? And now they're like, oh, but now we have oppressed women in there. Yes, I understand that. I am empathetic towards them. But that doesn't mean that thousands of American young boys or young women, right? Because they usually enlist in the military when they are 18.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be
predatory
getting killed.
shit.
They shouldn't be getting killed because some fucking asshole in the Pentagon or the CIA just wants to get some fucking lithium in Afghanistan. Fuck you, bro.
Oh, you heard it here first, boys. Heard it here first.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, no matter what, so far the only thing that Biden has done that I have supported is getting out of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And these fucking people like Hillary Clinton and fucking George Bush, they can go fuck themselves. They are both war criminals.
True. Yeah. I mean, I guess at this point, like most U.S. presidents, at least the last few, like we could add Obama, Clinton. Well, Bush is the main one. Trump, like what we've done in the Middle East is goddamn awful. Just the drone strikes too, yo. That is pretty wild, bro.
My dude,
like,
we created the guy who did 9/11.
Yeah, we funded them. Yeah, all of these right-wing terrorists. Yeah, and we gave them money. And now we get mad when the Middle East is overran by like these radical fucking conservative Muslims when we funded them.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like the United States is the most evil country in the world, but
yeah, it's just with power. Like with power, you start like doing wild shit. You want to see how far your power goes. So, because it's happened throughout history, there's always been like a real great world power that just messes with everybody else. Yeah. And at this point, I guess at least we're the ones here.
It's the same with the Afghanistan situation. The first people who fucked with them were the fucking Soviet Union, the Russians, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
fucked with Afghanistan. They got in there. They invaded the country, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they established their own government that supported the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
right? The Soviet Union collapses. What happens? Some bad shit crazy starts happening, and then we started doing the same shit that the Soviet Union did. We started fucking with a country that wasn't ours, just to establish some power, used to get like some money out of it. I don't fucking know what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
But what happened? We were there for more than 20 years,
And yeah, very
and we still lost the war.
yeah, and our military budget is insane. And then I always love whenever people are like, "Yo, how would you be able to pay for all the extra programs, like the safety net government programs that people usually advocate for?" Well, how were we able to pay for 20 years of war? Like all that military training that went into training the Afghan army, whatever happened to that, my dude? It's like, come on, this is a very important question that not a lot of people go ahead and answer. It's a lot of money we put in. And like right now people are complaining about the 3.5 trillion dollar spending bill that Biden is trying to pass for the people. But like Fox News is calling it a lot of money, but Fox News never talks about the $7 trillion budget we have for the military. Like, it's always blown up. So now that it's for the people, now I guess the money's an issue.
Okay.
It's weird. It's weird how government
And
works.
I don't think even like
Right.
Democrats care about it.
Uh-huh.
Do you think like those fucking politicians in Washington, they care about us? No. You know why they don't? Because we have, I think it's the senator of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Kirsten Cinema?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's an open bisexual woman, isn't?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But this bitch is basically
Up there on the oppression list.
she's basically selling us to the pharmaceutical companies, right?
Yeah,
They are selling like people's life, like people's health to pharmaceutical companies for no reason. And then like they don't talk about her in CNN. They're like they don't criticize her for that.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, she's so brave.
At least,
Because she's bisexual.
yeah.
Listen here. You could be bisexual. I don't give a fuck. You know what I care about? Your fucking policies. If you are helping us, if
Mhm.
you are actually care about us, and there is not a single politician out there that cares about us. You know who I
Yeah.
say care about us? Fucking Bernie Sanders. They stole.
He said a socialist piece of shit. Nah, Bernie's the shit, bro. And if you complain about him being a millionaire at 78, bro, you don't know anything about financial literacy, my guy. Okay.
But let me tell you, Bernie is a pussy.
Yeah.
He's a pussy. Okay?
Yeah. I did not expect that one to come.
My dude. Okay, so I understand in 2016 he gave up the election, like to Hillary Clinton.
Uh-huh.
He should have been president in 2016. If Bernie Sanders would have run against Donald Trump in 2016, he would have won.
Yeah, because Donald Trump took his rhetoric of being for the people, and then when Donald Trump took office, he just gave tax cuts to like every big corporation, put their taxes from like what 36 to 20%, which is like what, bro? Yeah, but the trickle down economics, you know, where's that money? Where's that money? That shit stayed all the way at the top, bro.
The same with AOC.
Oh, AOC and her
By the way,
president vote,
AOC, if you ever watched this, big love.
and me too. You know, you got two Latino guys over here that love you. You're a bit of a sellout, though.
She been like
Yeah.
she's dating a proud boy right now, bro. Like
Yeah.
her boyfriend, like
Yo, I hate
she
that.
picked him out of like the white guy lineup. Like they had like like the most average white man.
Yeah.
She picked him out of there.
Yeah, it's some bullshit. I mean, Candace Owens, the Mrs. like, oh, I want the best for black people, goes and dates a white guy.
Yeah.
Like, they always do that shit. They talk the most shit about, oh yeah, my community's messed up. Like, go lift one of the men in there. Oh, nah, you want to be like in another community already. Fucking grifter ass motherfuckers. Yo, hate them.
And then she's like, oh, tax the rich. Do you saw that show? The
With the dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
As she goes to the Met Gala, it's a very ugly.
that's really hypocritical. Right?
Yeah, it's distasteful. At first, I supported it, but then I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know, not the best
when you
like,
think-
for
when-
protest.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's mostly like, bitch, like, you're basically supporting it.
Yeah, and I like the designer that made her thing. Apparently, she was evading taxes too. So it's like, come on, bro, you can't say that then have that designer over here not paying her fair share that you advocate for.
And then I think like what she was advocating for is like, oh, tax people with $10 million or more. And you're like, yeah, okay, but what about all those fucking billionaires
That's the
that
problem.
won't get taxed? Because this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We already have to sink into our brains that rich people, they will never pay taxes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because they just find a loophole, right? They just hire somebody and be like, I want to pay taxes this year. Fix it, motherfucker. They just get this fucking kid from Harvard, and then they're gonna be like, I don't want to pay taxes. Fix it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what I want to do. But we still gotta find a way. Like, why don't we start by getting rid of some of those fucking loopholes?
Yeah, I always thought that was stupid. Like, people justify that taxing stuff, and they're like, "Nah, bro, it's just the system allows it to be that way." Yeah, but like that's what we have politicians for, to fix the system. But I don't know. I guess people just love giving up super early or some shit.
But politicians, they don't care about us, man.
Yeah, as long as lobbying's a thing, bro, it's gonna be. Or I don't even know if lobbying's fully all of it, but I did see something on this one documentary on Netflix, Saving Capitalism, that apparently lobbying wasn't as heavy as it was back then until they, like, I think passed another legislation where a donor would be able to contribute in a limited amount or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm right, but it was something along those lines.
Yeah.
So until that shit's a thing, it's going to be very difficult. And if people also don't vote on the local level as well, it's going to be very difficult. Rather than dreaming of a revolution, go out and vote. If you're from New Jersey, October 23rd, early voting begins. But yeah, no, it's tough, man. Like,
I think like, I don't know. What I'm gonna say is probably gonna be like upsetting, or I don't even fucking know. I don't think it's even that controversial, but I don't think presidential elections matter. I don't think federal politics matter that much. I think what matters most is local politics.
mm-hmm.
I would say being involved in your community and local politics, like city politics, like state politics, I would say it's more important than
Yeah.
being involved in presidential politics. Reason is because, let's say what they did now in Texas. Do you saw that shit, bro?
The 6-week abortion.
Yeah, the Roe v. Wade.
Bro, real quick, yo, if you're a guy and you support abortion, bro, have you ever gotten laid in your life? You're a straight loser, bro. You are a loser, and God knows you're a loser. That's why you gotta pray to him. Okay.
So it's mostly like, okay, so I think it contradicts itself in other ways. So we have this federal law, which is Roe v. Wade, which supports the right of a woman to like have an abortion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now we see in Texas that they're basically rendering that law useless because most of abortions, they are done after the 6 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a woman won't notice it in the first fucking month, on the first.
Hell no, dude. You don't even have a bump. You think it, and periods are late. It's like a normal thing that happens.
And there's also something like, I'm not saying that you should have like 50 fucking abortions. Like at that point, honey, you need to learn how to use a condom, okay?
Yeah,
point,
like birth control, other forms.
There's a lot of shit out there, okay? I understand the argument the Republicans and the conservatives are making is mostly like, yeah, like you shouldn't use abortion for birth control, and yeah, that is true. You shouldn't use fucking abortion for birth control.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying everybody will do it, but there's probably like one crazy bitch out there that empowered
bitch.
Okay,
yeah.
empowered bitch that will have 50 abortions. Okay.
Yeah.
But just because that one person will do that, it doesn't mean that everybody else will.
Yeah. I feel like most people get the abortion early on. Like, I feel like that's a straw man with right-wingers that it might be the only way to make normal people that aren't as political sympathize with them. They say, oh, do you think a girl who has a stomach this big should be able to just kill her baby? Like, I mean, if you already waited that long, chances are you're not going to get an abortion. Abortions normally happen within the first 3 months.
Yeah,
when it's still
within the first trimester.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it's called? I don't know science or any of that, bro. I'm like a college dropout, dog.
So, I'll make the argument like you shouldn't do it if it's, let's say, like this is not an argument that should be for us to be making, okay? Because basically, like,
we have penises.
Yeah, we have penises. So it's basically like, it's not like, I'm not saying that I should be making the laws or like a man should be making the laws, because this is a woman's issue.
But definitely not fucking Ted Cruz, bro. Man, that man's probably never even, I don't know. I think his daughters aren't his, bro.
Yeah,
that man got
like,
cucked.
The same with Shapiro.
Oh,
they never had some WAP.
Yo, no.
That's the problem with them, right?
My wife has never had a wet pussy before.
Fucking, yo, I hate Ben Shapiro, dog. Okay.
You're probably gonna get that checked out when you're gynecologist. It's like,
oh, he's such a loser, bro. Oh, dude, you have to. Oh no, but not true, bro. I think the whole abortion thing, Texas definitely fucked up, and it's something that, yeah, you would think that because it's a protected thing federally that it would matter, but it goes to show how important local politics are.
Yeah.
That like you should be as involved as you can, and I'm not saying that you got to be in a committee or door knocking all the time. But, you know, at least go to city council every now and then. I know my mayor, he gives out his number like crazy, bro. And he will talk to you on the phone. He's not like this celebrity looking guy that you deify. No, he's like a legit guy who, you know that diner right there that's in front of my house? Bro, he's been there like sitting outside. The dude is very normal and accessible. So anything you have, bring it up to him. If you think the defund police issue is an actual thing, go and talk to him. Because defund the police doesn't happen fucking federally. It happens within your own city. If you really want it as a movement. I'm like 50-50 about it, not all the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely. I think that, you know, voting for in as many elections as you can is important. And I also feel like this is one thing that with our generation being on Instagram and having all these crazy conspiracy theories, I feel like a lot of people think that their vote doesn't matter. That apparently the people that are going to be elected were already selected and all that it's not a thing that normal regular people could do unless they have a crazy amount of money. And I don't agree with that, bro. I think that the reason why lobbyists actually put in so much money, like millions of dollars, is because they know how strong the people's vote is. So they try their best to just make people think that there's no hope, that it's better to be nihilistic and, oh, change is never happening. But one thing I always tell myself is, what if back during the Jim Crow era, nobody ever tried making change? What if women never walked out and said, yo, I need the right to vote, or blacks did the same thing? What if we just stayed there and didn't try with at least our vote? We would have never had change. So if voting is one of the only ways to try to make change, why not try it? You know, that's one thing I've been noticing, at least with people, that they get mad that the president doesn't do shit, but they don't try themselves to do anything in their own state.
Yeah, there's also, I wanna say something that might be upsetting for some people, okay? But,
okay. The trigger warning.
Nah, not really. I mean, I would say representatives should be that long in power.
Mm-hmm.
I say they should be 10 years max.
Okay, so term limits, you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is that will never happen. Reason is because they're the ones making the laws.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones signing bills and all of that. So they will basically stay there forever. Like, we have Nancy Pelosi, which is someone that's been in politics for like
years.
I don't know, like how much, like probably 40 years. I don't know what the exact amount of years is. Like,
yeah.
Fucking Google it if you don't know. Like, I don't really care, but it's been way too long since she's been in power. There's also like people like Hillary Clinton, all of that, and there's also a lot of people that have become wealthy because of being in politics. Aren't they supposed to be public servants?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I'm a little mixed about it. Like, about term limits, I just don't know, because then what if there's term limits and the only way they try to make change is just to see what party pays them more, because they already know their time is short. So it's not like they're going to cater to the vote of the people, because the people aren't going to give them money, but the lobbyists, whoever bids the highest is going to get their legislation passed. because
Yeah.
they only have a certain amount of time.
But at the same
That would
time,
be my only argument against that.
at the same time, they've been holding power for too long. One of the reasons we haven't been making that many changes is because they are the ones holding the power.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know the reason why fucking rich people don't get taxed? All these fucking Democrats and Republicans, they've been in power for like 50 years, right? The same people, right? And you're gonna tell me, oh, like the Democrats, they are for the people, or if the Republicans are for the people. No, motherfucker, they are for fucking corporations. Who do you think? How do you think they're getting rich? Like, how do you think you become a representative of the state of New Jersey, and then you become rich a year after? It's because you are getting paid off.
Yeah, I know that their regular salary is like $100,000 around there, like 100,000 to 150 or something. So, yeah, I see what you mean. Like, I see what you mean. But the good thing about it is that even though they've been there in power, we always have the ability to vote, and that's why I feel like that worry should be the first one. Just get people to vote. Like, get them to understand that your vote matters, it counts, and if you think a politician's been there too long and they're corrupt, you always have the option to vote them out.
Yeah, but then what's the other option you got, right? So you only have...
Well, the only other option would be like a crazy revolution, but that shit would be too... I think it would be pretty crazy.
So what I'm saying is, like, what are the options you have, right? So, let's say the representative in your local area, right? He's a Democrat. And then you are like, I don't like this fucking guy anymore. I would like him to be removed out of office, right? So you will have another Democrat, and you only want to vote Democrat. So what are your options? Your options is to vote for this guy because you only want to vote Democrat. You don't agree with the policies of the Republican Party, and at the same time you don't like this guy. But the only option you have at that point is voting for this asshole that you don't like.
Yeah.
But what is the other option you like? Voting for you like even less. So at the same time, it's choosing for the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, if you don't want me that long in power, then you can just vote me out. But at the same time, usually in New Jersey, people vote mostly blue, right? In a state like Texas, people will mostly vote red.
Red, yeah.
And then let's say that I live in Texas and I want to vote Republican, and then my representative is like this fucking guy that wants to stop abortions, right? And then I'm like, okay, so I'm not for abortions in the same way as a lot of people would be, but at the same time, I don't think what you're doing right now is right. So basically, you're still getting screwed because you couldn't vote for another Republican guy that had similar values to you.
Yeah.
You are just voting for the Republican guy that the party chose for you to vote.
Yeah. Nah, I see what you mean, definitely. Like the lesser two evils game, I feel like that's one that, whether people like it or not, I think it has to be one that you play, but also because you know that it's the lesser two evils, you gotta try your best afterwards to make as many people around you aware of that same system and that there's other options. For example, I guess in the Democratic Party, during the primaries, you have many different candidates there. Like, you got Elizabeth Warren, you have Yang, you have Sanders, you got Buttigieg. You got all these different people. So the solution next time might be to just you or a community of people you know, try your best to like unite as many people, maybe do like little protests or just make them super aware through social media to see that, hey, there's another option. And it does suck because third parties in the United States sometimes are considered as a waste of a vote, you know, because if it's like a very tight race between a Republican and a Democrat,
it's like casting your ballot into the trash can.
Yeah,
right?
and you vote fucking third party. People are gonna go up to you and they scorn you. They will tell you, "Oh, you just wasted your vote." So it's tough. But
Kanye 2024, you know.
Yeah, no, 2024 we picked the good ones. But
Kanye, right?
Oh yeah, Kanye. Yeah, no, and it's a good point though. The one you made that you gotta. This system does make it sometimes where you have to just choose the lesser of two evils. It's a tough way to try to get out of it, but wouldn't you be able to still, like, within within that next election cycle that's happening over here, let's say I don't like Brian P. Stack as a mayor. I do, and I'm most likely gonna vote for him. I like the guy, but there's a Republican he's running against. Wouldn't there be other candidates too that you could vote for there? That it wouldn't just be the lesser of two evils there.
I mean, if there was another good candidate, I would probably vote for them. But
Yeah.
most people will still choose either Republican or Democrat. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what are you choosing for two guys?
Yeah,
We only have left or right. There's no like gray in between or any of that.
yeah,
Like if I couldn't go right now and be like, I'm gonna put myself as a president. I gotta like open a party, right?
Mhm.
Like Andrew Yang has to do. Like he needs to open a party. Like I need to open a party and postulate myself as a presidential candidate, and then my name will be at the bottom of the ballot. And then the first two names that will appear are Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
yeah. The more popular people, the rest of the people are just gonna be like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then you already know the only ones that are getting coverage are either Democrat or Republican.
yeah.
Right? You don't have anyone from the Libertarian Party getting coverage. You don't have anyone from the Green Party getting coverage. Yeah, they probably mentioned them like twice in the whole fucking campaign, but
Yeah, it's very rarely. You don't like nobody really remembers. I forget he was a gay guy that was there running. He's the one that said what's it was something about Hillary Clinton. What's Benghazi or something like
crooked
that.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you mean crooked Hillary Clinton?
Oh, crooked Hillary. Yeah, yeah. It was when when Hillary and Trump were running. It was two other candidates, but yeah, nobody really remembers the two other people. They only remember the top two, and nobody's really gonna vote for the other person.
The fact that you don't even remember who they are is basically like they
A
haven't.
testament to it.
Yeah, they haven't been given any coverage. It's like
Yeah.
CNN. I think they are. I think CNN. They are one of the worst media
Mm-hmm.
out there. They are on par with Fox News,
Yeah.
right? So
They're the opposite Fox News. That
at the same time, they are the same shit, right? So I think they are basically treasonous, right?
Mhm.
So they missed Donald Trump so much because he was giving them a lot of coverage that basically they started covering Donald Trump again all of a sudden.
Yeah, they
Like
still talk about him. Like,
Yeah, they
oh,
keep
like,
talking about that guy, and then you're like, dude, like people didn't talk about Obama
Mhm.
after the 2016 election. Yeah, they talk about him like a little bit, but they don't talk
Yeah.
about Obama as much as they talk about Trump right now. And then they kept talking about him. Oh, is he going to present himself for the 2024 election? Because that's what they want. They're salivating
Over
at the
Trump.
fact
Oh,
that
God.
Donald Trump will be in the 2024 election.
Imagine that.
They
he
want
runs
it.
again.
You know why? Because Donald Trump, he brings clicks.
Yeah.
And they don't care. CNN doesn't care about you. Like they may say, I am a liberal, and I support women, and I support the Me Too movement. But at the same time, you have the fucking Cuomos, and they were elevated to the top of the everything. And then you have like Governor Cuomo.
Cuomo harassing women, sexually assaulting
Yeah, because
them
he,
as well.
I said
Yeah.
like they're Italian, right? So they
Yeah.
can rape women now.
Oh, yeah.
So
What
I
was it
think
that he
that's
said?
right.
He was like, oh yeah, I'm just Italian. Oh no,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
So
that's
if
weird.
you're, because you're Italian now, you got a pass to rape women. That's great, man.
Yeah. No, yeah. There's a lot of it's fucked up, but I mean, I'll be a little bit optimistic. Controversial for some reason, but I like Biden. I like what he's doing. I know I got this shit over here. I thrifted it for $4.
Yeah,
bro.
I think the
Like-
the new Green Deal.
Yeah, that relief plan that he's passing, I think it's actually pretty good. Like I wouldn't, and I feel like if he
I agree.
passes that, then people are gonna be like, oh look, politicians are actually good and they'll work with people, and then maybe we could have a shift towards like a more Bernie Sanders like person, or at least Elizabeth Warren maybe in the future. It's a better change than what we had with Trump, at least with like deregulating, fucking denying climate change. Dead ass, bro. Who denies climate change? Fucking crazies. Like corporate tax cuts, all these things. I feel like at least Biden is a better change. So it worked out a little bit, and now what we have to be aware is that yes, that was the lesser two evils election. At least the lesser evil is now turning a little bit gooder. And now we could go a little bit further.
So I think Biden is a piece of shit,
Mm-hmm.
but
But he's sleepy, bro. It's like,
sleepy. At least he's a piece of shit that it's probably because he believes that he doesn't have much time on this earth. That he's doing some good thing, right?
He's just, yeah. He's
Because I
Yeah.
will say that his work with Obama and like the Obama years, they're probably disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
When Obama was elected, I was living in Cuba, right? And I think Obama was disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
When I
How so? What would you say about him?
I don't think he did a lot of good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say like he will be remembered mostly as a disappointing president,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, he will be remembered throughout history. He's the first black president of the United States.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I really hate like all that shit the Fox News they did, and like it's
The
probably, like,
Hussein
no,
conspiracy
a lot of
theories.
the conservative news, right? That they were basically like, oh, he's not a real American citizen.
Yeah.
I mean, technically he's not because he was born in Hawaii, which is illegally expropriated territory from the United States. So
Yeah. Like, me with Obama, from what I've seen at least, is 50-50. Because I know a lot of people had issues with Obamacare and the premium, but I feel like it was a step in the right direction towards, a single payer European like system. At least it's not the same, not at all, but because private insurance still existed. But I think that it was a step in the right direction. It's better than having, Trump had 4 years to pass something for healthcare. He didn't pass shit.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. And that's how it's really been for the few. And private insurances just have not worked out. Compared to most other countries, we pay so much fucking more. And we have people getting into medical debt and just like their life spirals down the drain. So at least with Obamacare, I feel like that part was good. I like the initiative that Michelle Obama took. Well, I know it's his wife, but with the working out and stuff, how she was recommending the 30 minutes a day, you would see that in every single school. So I also like the fact that Obama was just a very eloquent dude, just very likable, and I guess inspired minorities to try to be in politics. That's good. And then one of the last things I would say, the economy got way better under him, though. I know Trump's economy was crazy, but I've heard arguments that it might have been Obama's economy because that shit was going up. Remember, he inherited like the 2008 financial crash, and little by little
I would say that he slowly but surely improved the economy, and I think the prosperity that we saw in the first 2 years of the Trump administration, like the economic prosperity that we saw, it wasn't because of Trump. I think it was because the work that was done before with Obama. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, I digress. I think Obama was a very disappointing president. He didn't do a lot of policies that he could have done. With the swing of a pen, he could have done Medicare for all.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're saying, oh, like this is too expensive, blah blah blah. Bruh, like just put a cap on the cost of shit. Do you know how expensive insulin is? It's probably $700 a month, right? For somebody to get insulin.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how less expensive it would be in Europe?
Isn't it like $30 or some shit?
Bruh,
50?
like it's fucking pennies.
Dude, it's
Insulin is not even that hard to make anymore. They're just inflating the price of medication, right? And do you know why it's still allowed? You will argue it's because fucking pharmaceutical companies are paying our politicians, right? And then you're still gonna say like, oh, but if you have insurance, it's actually not expensive because insurance gets a lot of discounts from hospitals. Yeah, they do. But what about if this kid that his parents are poor, they cannot pay for insurance, and then he needs fucking insulin?
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? He's gonna
Yeah.
pay $700 a month. So what it's basically doing is keeping poor people poorer.
Yeah. Because not all jobs offer insurance either. Like, some jobs will deadass make you work 37 hours just so you don't hit 40 and are considered a full-time employee. Like, that's some bullshit, dog. And that's something a lot of people don't fucking talk about.
And not even that. Like, a lot of jobs, they will give you a temp contract or a contractor, right? They will hire you as a contractor, and they will only say, oh, we're only hiring you for a year. So now they don't have to give you insurance. They don't have to pay for your 401k. They don't have to pay for anything. Yeah, they will probably give you like an extra $2, but at the same time, they are saving a shit ton of money.
Yeah. No, definitely. And also, insurance being tied to your job. What if you have a really shitty job and like the workplace environment is bad and you just don't want to be there anymore? You have to move. Now, it forces you to stay there because you know that if you leave, potentially all these benefits are gonna leave with you aren't gonna leave with you, and you're not gonna have any health care now that you're looking for another job. What are you gonna do?
And now, I see like a lot of people are making the argument, oh, if you want good insurance, then you shouldn't work for McDonald's. There's a lot of people that don't work for McDonald's that work for high-paying jobs and they still are not getting health insurance.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man.
And it's true what you said. Like maybe he could have passed it if he really wanted to, and it does suck because now people think that whenever somebody mentions Medicare for all, that Obamacare was Medicare for all when I don't think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't even close to that.
But now, like, fucking Republicans will use that shit as a straw man to say, oh, but Obama put that in, and we had premiums that were so high, we couldn't pay them. And now they hate the thought of Medicare for all. And also, what do you think of people immediately calling socialism or communism once you mention Medicare for all? As somebody who lived in Cuba and also lived in Europe and now America.
Okay, so I say like they call it communism and socialism. One of the reasons is because they wanna they're not supporting our interests. They're supporting the interests of pharmaceutical companies and hospitals and like big pharma and big health, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the interest they are basically like trying to look after for. There's also the notion that in the 1960s, healthcare, free healthcare for all was a socialist or communist idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen capitalist economies like Europe, the UK, which is one of our biggest allies.
Oh, it's because they're white. And you know brown people can't fucking do anything right. That's what right wingers say. Oh, homogenous populations.
Yeah, man.
Suck a dick. That's what I say. No policies, bro. Just fucking eat one.
The people in power are mostly white in here, and they haven't come up with a good solution either.
Yeah,
Like,
and Canada, fucking Canada, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like,
and even though there's a lot of faults, like let me tell you something. I've seen free healthcare in Spain, and I could tell you that it works. It absolutely works. It works in Canada. It may not work as good in Cuba. Let me tell you. Every time a fucking conservative tells like, oh, Medicare for all, do you wanna be like a country like Cuba where there is Medicare for all and basically they are
communist propaganda.
They don't have medicines or any of that. Yeah, it's fucking Cuba. They have a fucking embargo. They are being.
Damn, yo, he mentioned the embargo. We about to get crazy, boys. Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff that they've done wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Cuban government has done a lot of stuff that is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that free healthcare would be impossible to do.
And
you could still have private, right? If you don't want free healthcare, you could still have private insurance, right?
yeah, you just pay more. And one thing about Cuba that I've been hearing, bro, isn't the Cuban lifespan pretty good for a country that like is very, very poor?
I would say not at the moment. Main reason is
because I heard that it's like 79 or something, and that's almost on par with what we have, which is around 79, 78.
I say like it's being lower for the United States as well. So probably one of the reasons is coming. Let me tell you, the people who made the Cuban government, you could be good at winning a war, but doesn't mean that you will be good at being a leader.
Yeah, and low-key, Rafa, right now you look a little bit like Che. I think it's the hat and the long hair, bro. I just got
fucking started my forehead, right?
Yeah.
And killed 1,000 people as well, right? We got mass murder.
Yo, you were a peaceful revolutionary. Fucking tankies, yo. Yeah, but I like that. Even though you're good at a revolution, it doesn't mean that you'll be good at governing. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, but I would say that I mean, it's the same that happens every single time you have either a coup d'etat or a revolution, right? And once you get in power, it just corrupts you, man. That's why you need balance and checks, right?
Yeah.
Despite all of the flaws that American democracy has, I think it's pretty good compared to a lot of countries. It is true that we are getting fucked as we speak right now.
Very.
The housing situation is crazy. The prices of rent and houses is outrageous. The sense that
Bro, I am this fucking close to starting an OnlyFans. I'm putting it out there. I'm very fucking close. I need that extra 400.
Some of our friends in the LGBTQ plus community, the G's probably they would probably
Gs.
watch you a lot, man. Like I know you're again.
You know, you have to sell out a little bit, and you know, rent is going up, and the government's not helping. I gotta help myself.
You need to do some IF, some intermittent fasting, right? So those abs will be more toned out.
Hey, man, there's such thing as bears. I'm a bear. Like, you know,
you need to do some shaving. I don't know how your situation with your chest area is, but
you know, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth.
Right? Pretty smooth, and then like make your abs like beard.
Oh, what's the Dave Chappelle say?
Right?
The baby oil and short shorts, baby.
Yeah, the baby oil.
Yeah.
Give some of that baby oil, bro.
Yeah. No, but like you were saying, yeah, housing is fucked over here right now. Yeah, but like that's the thing though. I wouldn't be a crazy lefty because I understand that there's a lot of things that are really good in America too. People gotta understand that it's gonna be hard to try to describe the good when like you're in this situation, but I would say it's a relatively free country. Like there's countries that are pretty oppressive and crazy, and I think that the United States, even though we got the NSA stuff going on, I would still say that we're somewhat free. There's a lot of good stuff that comes with capitalism, the amount of options and just stuff that you see around here, all the just companies that you could go to buy different things. It's stuff that I like, but I do understand that although this system has its good thing, it's not like it's perfect. And like these right wingers love to say that America's perfect as it is right now. I feel like there's still change that could be made, and we could head towards a better direction. I always like to look at the Scandinavian countries, because you know it's still a capitalist economy, but it has its checks and balances that make it so that you know the working people aren't as fucked as we are over here.
Yeah, and those countries aren't perfect either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they got their own flaws, like. They probably know about. I don't really know that much. I've never been to Denmark, right, or Sweden or Switzerland. I've never been over there, but they probably have their own flaws. And like in the government, they probably have their own corruption. Maybe not as much as we do, but probably still do.
Yeah.
The thing is that we'll never be able to get rid of corruption. There will always be corruption because. There's no like all good people, like
ever,
and it's not like all politicians are bad. Like maybe they are good in a sense, but it doesn't mean that.
Not and bro, you give me $1 million right now, I will exploit the living fuck out of people, dog. I'm sorry, but I will be the next Jeff Bezos if I have the chance.
Yeah, it's like
I'll buy a dick and send it out of space, bro. I'll justify that shit.
Yeah, it's like I don't know why a lot of conservative media they say, oh, Jeff Bezos, he's this big socialist guy, and I'm just like every time they say that I'm just like confused.
Like how?
It's like
he union bust in Amazon.
He's the head of capitalism right now. Yeah. He's the richest man in the world.
He is capitalism.
He
is such a meme, bro.
Amazon is basically like the highest workforce in all of America.
Yeah.
And they're not only in the United States, they're also in a lot of European countries. I said like Jeff Bezos' plan was world domination, and then he's like giving up on it.
Now he wants space domination. I think he got bored. Like he has so much money.
I said he has shift world domination, and then he's like, now, you know what? I wanna control the aliens, right?
Yeah. Oh god, capitalism about to be at Mars, bro.
Or maybe he's trying to go back to his own planet, right?
Space Jew.
his page
That
views.
might have been a little anti-Semitic now that I think about it. Hey, watch the Dave Chappelle special, then you'll get me. Not anti-Semite, but no, yeah, Jeff Bezos. Oh my god, yo. Actually, speaking of it, I want to talk about this because Americans have like a hard ass dick for people that are self-made, but like self-made. Because I don't think anybody really is self-made. You always have to have some type of help from people. But I don't know. I guess we live in such an individualistic society where we just love hearing about people that like, oh, everybody looked down on me. I never had any help and I did all of it. I just grinded, bro. I didn't have friends and I stayed inside and like I was allergic to vagina. I never went out type of grind mindset. Like,
at the same time, some part of what they're saying is true, right?
Mhm.
If you want a successful company, like if Amazon is,
mm-hmm.
you have to put a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
If you have you seen like those old photos about like the office he had was like this small office.
Oh yeah,
And
the
then he had like
garage.
a banner on the bottom that said like Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Right? And then this motherfucker was like looking ugly and shit, like all fat and fat. And he put in a lot of work. I'm not gonna say he didn't. Like
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk probably put in a lot of work. A lot of people that are successful, they have put in a lot of work. Like even actors, they put a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
It's let's say like you have this person like Joe Rogan, right? He
Yeah.
has a podcast, and you say, oh, like he's just talking, he's just this dumbass that is talking shit in the internet,
Yeah.
just like us, right? But he's probably a better orator than me and you are.
Yeah.
He is probably a better locutor than we are. Like he has learned a lot, like with experience. He has put a lot of work. Like his podcast probably wasn't always successful, right?
Yeah. And he's been doing it for years too. Like, how many episodes is he at right now?
It's the same with Dave Chappelle.
Mhm.
Probably at the beginning he wasn't the best comedian of all time, but
Yeah.
on time.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
On time, after years and years of practice, he has become one of the best storytelling and best comedian of all time.
Yeah. No, definitely. I feel like it's not as easy to say, oh no, you were fed a silver spoon. Nah, like everything worth having, you do need to work hard. $200,000 to $300,000 as a loan, is not as self-made as people want it to seem.
Yeah,
You know?
a lot of people aren't really self-made, right? Like you need a lot of help.
Yeah.
It's not like you just build everything by yourself.
Yeah.
You probably have like some people along the way with you, like probably like a girlfriend or a wife or a friend that help you out, right?
Yeah.
And there's other stuff like that. I would say that not everything, not everybody will be self-made. You also have kids that were basically rich or basically had a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, and if you're constantly getting the good tutors, the good school, and the good universities and all that, then you drop out of university, but you have a really good idea. It's not the same as like, because you already had all the good education. It's not even like you really needed college that much, because you already had a solid foundation. And that's something that a lot of people, I guess, they try to shame you for. Like, oh, look, this guy only went to community college or only did 2 years of college. But, okay, what was his prior schooling? Because that shit matters. If you go to top high school compared to some random underfunded public school, it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel like with the American exceptionalism and individualism, it gets lost. And oftentimes we feel bad about ourselves because we don't, well, at least me, that sometimes you might feel like you're not as successful, but then you got to look at the cards that you were dealt and like think of success relative to where you started from and the tools you were given.
Yeah.
Like, you're pretty fucking successful for somebody who didn't have shit. Like, Cuba-wise,
Yeah.
you don't have anything compared to somebody who was born here would.
So I still believe I feel myself as a lucky person, right? I would say that, yeah, Jeff Bezos, he had like a $300,000 loan and everything. Like he got money from his parents, but at the same time, he was able to convert those $300,000 into
45 billion.
well,
or something.
probably the richest company in the whole world, right?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of merit in there. There is also, you have the you could have the example of Mark Zuckerberg, which I have a lot of issues with Mark Zuckerberg. I think he's a rapist.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's raping women. I think he's raping minds.
Oh! I
Okay?
like that.
So he's like, he's basically like raping minds, raping your phone, right? I think that's what he's basically doing.
WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, bro. That's crazy power.
Yeah, you saw like
dog.
the shutdown a few days ago. Like,
Yo.
it's a fucking monopoly on most of social media. And
Yeah.
you probably don't use WhatsApp a lot, right? But,
I have it, but
Yeah.
but I know it's a very popular app.
yeah, like probably a
crazy.
billion. It probably has like hundreds of millions of users in the whole world. Like they
Yeah.
use it a lot in Spain. They use it a lot within some of Hispanic communities, and there's also like in Asia market
Yeah.
and in Latin America. A lot of people use it. Like a lot of people are dependable not only for communicating but also for business. For
Yeah.
using WhatsApp, right? Because like the rates of calling somebody and like texting somebody is like way higher than the internet that you may have on your phone.
Oh,
It's
okay. I
probably-
see what you mean.
That's probably way better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, a lot of people, they all got a lot of help. Mark Zuckerberg, he went to Harvard, but at the same time, they also put a lot of hard work, right? They also put a
Yeah.
lot. They use their knowledge. There is also the lucky factor, right? They got lucky.
Yeah, they were like one of the first to do it there. The timing was right.
Yeah.
Like everything fell into place. As
There is a
well.
lot of luck involved. I won't deny that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they put a lot of hard work, right?
Yeah, and I feel like hard work prepares you to then have luck. Like, because since you've already been grinding, once you already have the luck, you know what to do with it. As opposed to people who sometimes win the lottery and luck hits them without any hard work, because they didn't have that solid foundation. They're like, yo, I don't know what to do with all of this. It's a rags to riches story, and sometimes it could be unfortunate, and it ends with the money being lost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of factors, and I definitely, I'm not one of the haters of rich people. The thing I do hate is, offshore bank accounts and shit, and not paying taxes when your industry, it has trucks and all that driving through it. And I feel like a lot of people, they try to conflate being a leftist with being, or left-leaning with being a hater of the rich. I don't hate the rich. I don't. I see that there's merit in capitalism, that people do need incentive in order to want to succeed.
Yeah.
If you know that you're going to get a fucking Bugatti if you work your ass off and go to doctor school, of course you're going to want to do it even more because you got that shit in your mind. So there's definitely the factor of incentive, but I feel like, that a little more taxes could just be paid, a little more, the fair share. It doesn't mean that you're a straight hater. It means that you acknowledge that there's some things the system could do a little bit better. Because I like private companies. I like all these things. Because, look at my fucking room. It's all a bunch of material shit I don't need, but I love. So,
Yeah, it's basically like a strange species collecting stuff. It's like, have you seen, I don't know the name of the species of bird. So it's basically like this blue dark bird. And they collect blue things, right? And then they have it on their nest.
No way.
And then it's shaded on it, but they just kept putting everything that is blue, they have it on their nest.
Material bird, I know about that. That shit sounds
Yeah, I actually don't know the species,
yeah.
fucking cool. I don't care.
Please, if you find it, text it to me.
But there's mostly there's also a certain a little bit of envy. That's why we hate a lot of these rich people. There is a little bit of envy, and then there is also the case that in comparison to them, we're being treated unfair because they don't pay taxes, we do.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Yeah, that if we're also paying taxes, why are we not reaping the same rewards? And it's or at least seeing our taxes work for us in the way that theirs do. If one of their company fails, they get a fucking bailout from the government. If we fail in the stock market or something, well, you took the risk, asshole. You should have done it.
So, Blue Origin, that company Jeff Bezos owned, his space company, they got a $10 million bailout from the government, and then you're like, this is the richest motherfucking guy in the world, and you are bailing him out.
Yeah, with taxpayer money. Which
And then there are a lot of restaurants and private owned mom and pops businesses that have closed during this pandemic. The money went to them.
yeah.
They were like, "Fuck you."
But then fucking Walmart, Amazon, Targets of the world, the big companies, they got real big, and that's where I would say like, I don't know how right wingers don't see that and don't see that like, in a way that is unfair, and there needs to be some type of change. And I guess with this in mind, I would say, just to start with the wrapping up stuff, what would be your ideal form of government, or what would you label yourself as in the political compass? Would you be a libertarian? Would you be like an anarcho-communist? Or, you know, like what label would you assign to yourself in terms of political beliefs?
I wouldn't assign myself to any political agenda, like not even conservative nor liberal.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of good arguments in the conservative side, and there are a lot of good arguments in the left side. So
Okay.
I would call myself a moderate, but at the same time, if I had a conversation with someone that is really liberal, I will be considered in their eyes a conservative. And if I have a conversation with someone that is really conservative, I will be considered a liberal in their eyes.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to be fair and objective about everything that is going on. Man, you gotta listen, right? Even if you don't like what somebody's saying, even if you don't like the policies of this fucking guy, or if you don't like Stephen Crowder, which I don't,
Yeah.
I will still listen to something he has to say, and I will say about the things that he say. I was like, oh, this is something that is fair. This is something that is logical. This is something that has some common sense, right? And at the same time, I will still judge him when he says some stupid shit like,
doing blackface or
Kavanaugh.
whatever.
No, Kavanaugh. You remember like George Floyd? He basically made an entire fucking video trying to justify Kavanaugh, like the police officer who killed George Floyd. He was trying to justify that guy. There's no justification for killing another man.
Yeah.
And the way he does it, it's like, oh no, George Floyd had fentanyl on his heart.
Yeah, like he's done crimes before.
Dude.
Okay.
Yeah, like maybe he had whatever, but at the same time, you sat. Not really. You kneel in a motherfucker's neck and you killed that guy.
Yeah. And
So that your argument doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't matter how many arguments you say. You still kneel in that man's neck and you kill him.
Yeah.
At the same time, all of these Steven Crowder fanboys, they are going to be like, you know, like your arguments are valid.
He was a thug.
Steven Crowder is our god.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know, like, what would be the equivalent for a liberal that is really like.
Maybe
blind
like Hassan
against-
Piker. Hassan Piker, he's like a pretty big socialist
Yeah,
streamer.
he's probably
Yeah.
say a lot of dumb shit
Oh no,
that
yeah.
don't have any that don't make any sense.
Yeah, oh, yo, you should see the drama with him because he's a socialist, but he recently bought like a $2.5 million house, and he doesn't pay his editor either. So it's like, yeah.
But you have to be objective. Just because there's some guy in YouTube saying shit doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah,
Doesn't
always
mean
look for counter arguments.
Yeah,
type of thing,
it
right?
doesn't mean that he's all knowing, right? Like Ben Shapiro, he's not all knowing. I would say Joe Rogan, he's not all knowing, and he's a liberal, right? But he's currently being attacked by the liberal media.
Yeah. Joe Rogan's like that enlightened centrist type, just straight in the middle. But I mean, I can't even hate on centrists anymore because usually centrists are pretty, rational at least because they're able to see both sides of something. So I mean, like with me, I feel like I'm right there, almost center, but I'm like center left. Like I just lean more towards like progressive things.
And I used to call myself a liberal, right? Because I am a feminist. When I say I'm a feminist, I say women and men should have equal rights. And I am someone that supports LGBTQ plus community. Like, bro, I don't care what you do. who you fuck, who you marry.
You should be allowed to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's your fucking right to do it.
Yeah.
Like if you are a libertarian, like let's say like some of the libertarian people, they are also religious, right? And they are opposed to gay marriage. If you call yourself a libertarian and you believe in people's freedom, then you shouldn't tell me that gay people shouldn't get married.
Yeah, I
They should.
hate libertarians sometimes, bro, because they're very grifty. Because they say, "Oh yeah, we just want free weed," but then they talk about abortion, and now they become like fucking conservatives. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's mostly like it's convenient, right? It's convenient. Your arguments will be shaped conveniently depending on what you believe or what you support.
Yeah, yo, I'm like, I would say libertarian left. If I had to, yeah, like I just believe in personal freedom for everybody. Just it should, but I also believe in like regulations for companies to try to get some of that tax revenue back into the people as well.
And then there's also the same argument with vaccines, right? So there are people who didn't want to get vaccinated because they were afraid, any whatever reason they have. They are on the right. I believe the government and health scientific community, they are trying to protect people from themselves, but the way they're going about it is not the right way.
Yeah.
I believe people should get vaccinated, but at the same time, you shouldn't make them. You shouldn't have to be making them do it. What I think they should be doing right now is educating people in what the benefits of getting vaccinated is. And then you have other people, as I was trying to tell you before, remember that, everybody just wants to find a cure.
Yeah.
But better than a cure is preventing like getting COVID in the first place.
Yeah. Like I would say, it's tough because I feel like I'm a little authoritarian. Now that I just said I'm a libertarian, I'm a little authoritarian when it comes to the vaccine. Like at least with that. Cause I feel like, you just get rid of it already. Get fucking rid of it so we don't have to wear masks. But then you have these fucking skeptics on Instagram and whatever questioning it.
I say like here in New Jersey we have a high percentage of people.
New Jersey's one of the best states regarding
I say like
COVID.
for the adult population, it's probably like 80% that have been vaccinated.
Yeah.
So we probably have created some kind of herd immunity here in New Jersey. So there is another argument, like I know like the White House, they were pushing for the booster shots when the FDA basically recommended and disputed like the facts that you don't actually need the booster shots. There is no evidence for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
I didn't know. Yeah.
In the other side, there is the fact that you have people saying, "Oh, we don't know enough about the vaccine," and I'm just like, "Motherfucker, what?" There is probably hundreds of millions of people that have gotten the vaccine already.
Oh my god!
And you are telling me we don't know enough about it?
And it's been FDA approved twice for emergency use and then for like the regular use.
It's already been approved for regular use.
Like twice.
All I'm saying is like after 1 million people that have tried the vaccine and nothing happened to them, how come you're still scared?
Yeah, social media disinformation
But
is really wild.
at the same time, you are in your right to be scared. Like
you
know something that I really hated. Like some of these late night shows, they were like, "Oh, if maybe we should, if you are not vaccinated and then you are, then you have COVID, and then there is someone that was vaccinated and got COVID, right?
Yeah.
The person who is vaccinated has to be in front of you, and then that's not how it works.
Yeah.
When somebody becomes a doctor, they pledge an oath that they need to help everybody, no matter what, even if they're being stupid and not taking care of themselves, right?
Yeah.
And if someone that has been vaccinated and has COVID needs less amount of attention or treatment than someone that wasn't vaccinated and is about to die, and then you're going to tell me, "Oh, we should put this person in front because he was vaccinated and this person wasn't."
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. Yeah, this guy is an idiot, but it doesn't mean that he deserves to die.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope that you start getting into, because then if you want to make that argument for even COVID, then why should we even treat people who are obese over people that are regularly healthy and go to the gym? Like, oh, one of them decided to take care of themselves and you didn't, so you should die.
It's the same argument of saying, like, oh, we shouldn't help suicide victim because they try to kill themselves.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see how like all these. Yeah, that's one thing I've been learning a lot with politics. I'm trying to get to a place in my political beliefs where I'm not as contradictory. And it's a tough thing to do because humans are just very inherently contradictive. We have very clashing thoughts. But yeah, that's one thing that it's been interesting me a lot, that like you gotta have logical and reasoning consistency when shaping a worldview, because it's very important.
Yeah. Right, so I think that would be a wrap.
Okay.
It was nice talking. It was nice having you. Let's try to make this consistent
Yeah.
and see if we can do like keep on it, right?
Word.
Word, right?
And what's the name of the show?
We should call it Two Dumbasses, right?
Two Dumbass Pizza.
Nah,
A little less rough, a little more friendly. Habaneros. Nah.
it's probably,
It's tough. Like what? I had a little name earlier, but I forgot.
oh, it could be like Two Ignorants, right?
Two ignorance. I don't even know what that means, Doug.
Like ignorant.
Oh,
Because I mean, like we're young, right?
ignorantly rational. Because I mean, we might say some dumb shit, but like I swear, we made sense a few times.
And we're just trying to like figure out
Life,
yeah, like in general, right?
Yeah,
And,
like,
we're just trying to like talk about issues that we think are important. I don't think that the voice of a lot of young people is respected usually,
no.
right? Like they would say, like even if like the Hispanic community, I don't know if your dad ever told you that, like los niños hablan cuando la gallina mea.
Oh, yeah. Like no, yeah, like Hispanics, they really discount the hell.
And it's not even Hispanics, like all people, like people here in the United States as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like yeah,
like, you don't have any life experience. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't have enough life experience,
Yeah.
and it is true. We don't have. We are not as wise. We sometimes we could be smarter than somebody else that's older, but we doesn't mean that we'll be wiser than them. We probably aren't as wise as they are, but we still should have the right to have a voice. To talk about things, right?
And I feel like young people have an equally valid perspective that I feel like people, as they get older, they forget about some of the youth struggles, and then they become, I don't know, they go really far off and just resent the fact that people are young and then just hate young people for no reason. So, I mean, yeah, we're just trying to figure this shit out. Life is weird, life is tough, but, you know, at least you got a chance to live, and that's what we're trying to get to. Like, how do you live properly in this place? We don't got a manual, dog. I don't know shit.
Yeah, we're just trying to talk shit, and then like maybe we'll have an epiphany, right, as we're talking.
Imagine one day just like, oh,
like,
wow, I solved climate change.
Like Eureka. And that would be an issue to talk about like next time. It's not like I hate Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is. But I think she's just a spoiled brat that is just making noise.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like.
Yeah, you sound
like with climate change. I just look at the science, dog. The science is overwhelming on once. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
it is true.
Pretty overwhelming.
The thing is that fixing climate change is way more complicated than what you may think.
I mean, bro, you just gotta kill cows because they fart. That's all. Green New Deal, bitches. But that's been ignorantly irrational.
Peter is gonna cancel you now. Don't be saying that shit.
What? But
Killing
I'm a
cows,
dog,
man.
bro.
Killing cows.
What? My McDonald's double cheeseburger would like Target with that one.
All right, man. That would be a wrap. See you guys next week.
Well, right there.
All right.
Peace.